Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mouth of the Mark. We're a day late, but we are not a dollar short. It's our WWE Monday Night Raw review brought to you by Mouth of the Mark. I'm Matthew Talon, and this is Daniel John Schaefer.
What
And
up?
the big question is, for the last better part of a month, Monday Night Raw has been terrible television. Marks around the world have been rioting. The question is, did WWE put out a good Monday Night Raw this week?
That's
Daniel?
the question. That is the question. I say yes. I say it was good. I don't say it was like monumental. I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, this Raw. But I mean, compare. All right, maybe it's just because the last two have been so bad. I think that could be it. But I don't know, man. I thought it was a pretty good Raw. I gave the Raw a B plus. So
A B plus from
a,
Supermark Daniel?
a B plus,
No,
man. A B plus.
no.
Yeah.
Come on. All
I liked
right.
the show, man. There
I'll
was
tell
some
you
good
what.
work. There were some really good matches. There were some pretty good promos. Even like the jumbled dusty spots, like with like everybody in the Money in the Bank coming out, and then especially like R-Truth coming out and not in the match. Come on, dude. Who doesn't pop for that? You know they only did that for marks too. Like it's like because it's like the casual fans like what they made a mistake on TV. You know, like
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. You give it a B, B plus. I'm gonna give it a C minus, and you have until the end of this review to bring that grade up.
C minus is preposterous. That is a preposterous grade.
You say that, and I say that your standards have been lowered because you've been used to bad television.
You wouldn't. You dare not speak to
I
me that
dare.
way.
I
Okay,
dare.
this is all right. So I of course took a shitload of notes as always,
Go
and
ahead, Mr. Organized.
I had all right. So the Cena Owens promo pretty much kicked off Raw. It wasn't as good as last week's, but last week's was like monumental. That promo from last week's Raw was pretty phenomenal. Um, I mean, this is a really good promo back and forth. I like that they did a toss up between the NXT challenge and the US challenge. It made sense to me. That way you don't really devalue either title. And then the match itself, having Neville come out and saying, I gotta, teach this guy a lesson, blah blah blah, whatever, But the match was really, really, really good. I mean, I gave the match, the Neville Owens match, like an A plus plus. Like to me, it was Neville's probably best Raw match, period, that he's had, and that's saying a lot because he's had some pretty good matches. And Owens, of course, was Owens and was perfect. So there was the only thing that I saw was the moonsault to the
The
outside,
moonsault.
and Owens just kind of had to throw an arm out there and help him a little bit. But I mean, I thought that little pump handle, like fisherman knee drop thing that he did was like insanely
His
cool.
fisherman neck breaker.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. I haven't think I've seen that in a long time. I think, or is he the
Then
one that did it before too?
he's the one that did it in NXT. He
I
did
don't
it to
remember seeing it in
Zayn.
NXT. Oh yeah, that's
Mhm.
right, that's right. It just looked different tonight. Maybe it was just the way Neville took it, but it was A plus. I mean, I gave that match an A plus plus. I mean, what did you think about it?
No, no, no. The match. Here's the thing. The show started off pretty good because this wasn't your normal 20-minute authority intro. And maybe that's another thing. It was a change of pace because you started the show with Cena, and as soon as Cena came out at the top of the show, I was like, he ain't wrestling tonight. Ain't no way. You don't start Cena off at the first hour. So
Right.
I knew something was gonna happen, and I didn't. I was gonna kick myself in the ass because I didn't go to Raw, and because I didn't buy tickets. But if Balor would have showed up, I would have killed myself in my living room. Just done. That's it. You know what I mean? Because like if I'd have
Yeah.
missed Balor's debut on Raw, like I would just be like, that's it, done, so
Yeah.
done. But the match was an A. Like this match was an A. Owens versus Neville was an A. I mean, it can't not be. You know what I mean? The two put in solid work, and I agree. The only really iffy spot, and it really wasn't iffy, just that moonsault. Neville kind of overshot, or Owens was too far forward. I couldn't tell which whenever I was watching it, but still, Neville pretty much landed, safe. So I didn't really take it as against him because that's a
Right.
pretty nice spot.
Right. Yeah.
So and Owens still sold it like he took it right in the face. So
Yeah.
you know, whatever. Yeah, so I agree. Owens versus Neville was an A. The opening promo with Cena, I gave that a B because agreed that it wasn't as good as last week, but it was still a good promo. I liked that they let somebody come out and choose who they wanted to defend against. When your casual fans are like, "Oh my God, go Super Cena, go Cena," but all of us marks are like, "Cena got a broken nose. He ain't wrestling tonight."
Yeah, yeah,
you know. So it was cool. It was cool that they threw that in, but they took probably my high spot of the night and just followed it up with not a whole lot for me.
yeah,
So, because
yeah. I mean,
I don't take notes. So, what was next?
there was like the little video package with Rollins and Ambrose.
I,
I feel like I have a bad feeling that they're going to turn Roman Reigns heel. And I know it's like contradictory of me to say that now, but I feel like you've worked so hard to build him as a face, and he's finally starting to get steam as a face. And some of the smarks are kind of like actually giving him some credit for his promo work. And now I just feel this like brooding heel turn from Reigns. It's coming. Like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's just instinct. Um, and then they switch to like, but they go to the Authority in the back, and I can also see like a Rollins Triple H feud eventually happening, which will be amazing.
of course.
I don't know, man. I felt like that whole package was good. And then it was weird because it was like two promos in a row, and generally they would have had like some kind of like small squash in the middle there, and this is where I feel like Big E and Titus should have been like right over here to kind of kick off. After that Owens Neville
To
match, I
kick off
think.
the mid undercard.
Yeah, to kick off the mid undercard to bring you back from the feud a little bit. But then they went into the Nikki promo on Page, and I'm like, my notes just say Z. Like it was so bad. Summer Rae and Nikki, it just says clunky as hell. Boo, D minus. That's what I rated that match.
You gave it a D minus. I think that was being nice.
Yeah,
The promo. I wish at least when Brie does her promos about like Daniel or something like that, like she's sincere. Like you can
yeah,
see where she's like super sad because her husband can't wrestle.
yeah,
With Nikki, like of all the lessons that she should be taking from John Cena, promo skills is definitely on the top of that list, and it seems like to be the main one she's not taking from him. Like, because you can bash Cena all you want, but the guy can take a crazy crowd and just go, "Oh, you don't like me? Well, give me about 5 minutes. I'll make at least half of you like me."
right.
So I just think that she needs to work on her sincerity because everything that she says just sounds robotic. It sounds like she's reading it off of a flashcard. Like I know we make fun of Roman Reigns for his promos back in, a few months ago, but Nikki Bella ain't got shit on Roman Reigns right now. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah,
it's bad. And that match just the Divas division was on such a rise. It was on its way to
yeah,
going up. AJ retired, and then they were like, "Oh well, all we have left is a viable Paige and Naomi. Well, let's turn Naomi heel. Let's get Paige off of TV for a month, and let's just go back to the way things were 2 years ago. And f this,
yeah.
like I feel like they've just completely regressed.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the same, like to your point, man. I think that's why the Bellas always end up together. I don't think it's necessarily because of the twin magic and all that stuff anymore. I think it's that like they
They're a package
together,
deal.
they together are like one complete package. Like Nikki is hands down the better in ring worker, but Brie is hands down the better promo like Mike skill girl. So like I don't know. Like I understand why that's working out, and I do feel like they are pretty much using the same gimmicks with the divas. It's the same storylines, the same type shit over and over and over. And I mean, I don't know. It seemed stupid to not have Paige work the show, considering she's not the champ. It would have made more sense to have Paige versus Summer Rae to me. But that's just me. And the match sucked, so I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Agreed. Uh, did they go right into Sheamus and Orton after that, or did they have another promo?
It was the big promo with all the Money in the Bank
Oh,
participants.
that's right. That's right.
It started off with Roman Reigns, I think, And his work wasn't bad. And then his mic work gets better and better. Then Kane interrupts, and then Ziggler comes out, and everybody kind of takes a turn. But R-Truth coming out,
Yeah.
and just getting called right back to the back was pretty amazing. I thought it was really funny. I couldn't believe that like creative did it. Like I was like, wow, that's really funny. Like I like that a lot.
This this one's on me.
Yeah,
My bad. That was
yeah,
probably the funniest moment on Raw that I've seen in quite a while. I,
yeah,
I won't lie. Like I literally was like rolling on my couch laughing. But yeah, I mean the segment was okay. I don't mind everybody coming out. What I do mind is that like I love Dolph Ziggler. Okay, I love Ziggler to death. But don't put Ziggler on TV for that segment just to plug the fact that he's got 10 minutes at a comedy shop. Like, you
yeah,
know, like don't like I know that the dude's trying to do comedy on the side and all that stuff, but don't plug it when he's wrestling. Like let it just be some dark shit that like nobody knows about except for like his actual fans.
yeah.
You know?
No, I
Yeah,
agree.
like don't plug it on your show. You already feed enough information through the
Well, I'm sure,
announcers.
but honestly, I'm sure. Well, I'm not sure, but in my eyes, I would probably think that it would be Dolph saying, "Hey, can I put over that I'm going to be at this comedy shop?" Like I feel like they were like, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead, it's no big deal." I don't think that was actually necessarily written in for him, because I don't think that E is really going to make any money off his
No,
appearance. He will, so I feel like I think that was his call, but I do agree. I don't think it was smart, especially when you rarely have like mic time and you have like kind of this thing going on with Rusev. Like you could have had a way to like, I don't know. I feel like you could have done it a little bit better, but it wasn't bad.
it could have been a lot worse. R-Truth saved it, and I never thought I would say that R-Truth would
Yeah,
save a segment, but R-Truth saved the shit out of that segment. I'm
yeah,
not
he
even
did. It
gonna
was
lie.
funny. It was really funny.
So R-Truth by himself made me give that segment a B. But
Yeah,
but so after that was Sheamus versus Orton, and it was kind of the match itself. I feel like I watched the same match over and over again between these two. Like, there's a reason after 29, everybody was like, same old shit and thank you, Big Show. Like, like, there's a reason that this shit happens because it's the same booking. I will say that the ending, the disqualification and Orton getting the payback, that was pretty much a given, but I liked it. I like Randy Orton when he's violent. I think that he is having fun as a face now, which is different because usually he hates being a face.
yeah,
But it looks like I mean he's pandering a lot more. He's like soaking it in. I mean, he's just I guess he's kind of like Cena is now, where he realizes that he's come so far in his career and he's done so much in his career that he's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going out there and I'm gonna have a couple of laughs and I'm gonna be done. Like
yeah,
like 2 weeks ago when New Day came out, he just started dancing to New Day's song and the camera had to cut like really quick.
yeah.
Like he's just having fun.
Yeah, I
And
think I
I
think
like
he's
that.
I think he's at a point where he's just like, you know what? I paid my dues. I'm gonna do what I want. And if you decide to cheer me and get behind me as a face, I'll work with that. And if you don't like what I do and you start booing me again, I'll just be cocky as hell. And I feel like Randy Orton can be him and have this, and the crowd reaction be different every show, and he not really change. I mean, it's the same thing with Cena. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, and it was the same thing too, man. Like they're both great workers. Like individually, I like Orton and Sheamus, but dude, this match, God, like I honestly at some point in the match while I was watching it, I was like, I wonder if like the creative is really like just trolling smarts. Like, hey, we know they hate these guys, so we're gonna put them out there, and they're gonna steal the show. And even though they've seen it a million times, it's like, I mean, it was a good match. It's just it's so stale that like even though the finish was good, it's like I've even seen that finish before. Like so it's like, dude, this I gave the whole match a C because it was there. Like it wasn't bad, like it was so stale. Like I just do not care about Orton and Sheamus alone in a wrestling ring together. I just don't
Nope.
care.
I agree. I agree. It's overexposure, man. It's just we've seen it too many times and it's been done one too many times, three too many times. It's just it's just the classic case of overexposure. It's like Cena and Orton, man. How many times do we not want to see that again? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And then after that was Kane and Ziggler, right?
Well, yeah, I mean there was like the Rollins J&J segment, like setting up for that
Oh
main
yeah.
event, and I thought that whole segment was great. I like that they're pretty much putting over. I think the entire Authority might just go face, man. Like I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know how exactly they're gonna pull it off, but I really can feel that vibe happening. Um, I don't know, and I'm like, and dude, like I felt like it was great promo work by Joey, who never really talked in J&J, and
Joey got
you know,
mic time, dude.
yeah, Joey got mic time, and Jamie delivered really well, and Seth sold it really well. I was actually like, if you look at this on paper, it's like, oh, Seth versus J&J as the main event of Raw. It's like, oh, that's gonna suck, but dude, these guys sold it. They put it over, and to me, I was excited for the main event because I'm like, oh wow, I'm gonna get to see a babyface J&J versus Seth Rollins, and that might be kind of cool. A pissed off Seth Rollins, So like, I thought it was good. I thought the promo was good. I thought it was those three dudes have done so many segments together in the backstage, but I feel like that was one of the best ones they've done. And it's leading up to a go home show. It worked in with the Ambrose feud. It was what I thought that was all really good creative there.
Yeah, the segment was great, and I'll give you my opinion on what's going on with the Authority towards the end because obviously they're involved also. Uh, the J&J security thing, I love them, and I was pumped for the main event because I was like, man, Joey Mercury is going to be taking bumps again, like in an actual match, not just like, oh, we're in a tag match with Seth and
Right.
he's going to do all the work. So I was like, oh man, Joey's going to take bumps? Sweet. And
Yeah.
Jamie Noble's going to have his little pit bull gimmick thing again?
Yeah.
Sweet. you know?
Yeah.
So, I was then I guess I got aboard the nostalgia train, I guess, with that one because I
Yeah.
was excited for it from Jump Street.
Yeah.
And and Joey just delivered it perfect. He's like, up until this point, we've had your back, and tonight we're gonna kick your ass. And I'm like,
Yeah, that's all I
yeah,
had to do. That was it. It's like, dude, sit at home, simple. You get 2 lines. That's all you really need. I think it might have been 3 lines, whatever. But like, just perfect. You sold it well. The little slap exchange, and then cutting him off, and hey, like I thought it was good. I thought it was good, man.
Jo- Joey Mercury, 2015's Billy Gunn.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, I agree. The segment was great, and then from that point, they went on to Kane and Ziggler.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kane and Ziggler, another match where I just really wasn't that excited. I'm ever since Austin has said it, I've just noticed how much Ziggler actually sells rather than goes on offense, and it bugs me now. Like he's a great seller, but it just bugs me how he just sells, come back, and either win or lose. Like, you know, I, the gimmick at the end with Lana and Rusev, that's setting up to where I'm about 99% sure that Ziggler's not going to be winning Money in the Bank. I'm going to go ahead and say that if he does get anywhere close to winning, uh, Rusev will come out and cost him. Yeah, because Rusev's the plan for Ziggler. Clearly, as soon as Rusev's foot's good, they're going to milk that angle again. They're going to keep
Yeah.
Lana on Ziggler at least until Rusev is healthy, and then I think at that point they'll decide whether they're going to keep Lana face with Ziggler or face independently, or go back with Rusev, which I'm not sure would be the smart thing. But I mean, you've kind of already flipped the card over, so it's kind of too late to try to put it back face down. You know what I mean?
I don't think it would have been had Rusev not gotten hurt, but I think now
Right.
I think they did plan on her being a swerve and her going back heel pretty soon, and just kind of teasing the face turn. But now that they've milked it so long, I just feel like they're kind of like scrambling for her, because it's like, what are you gonna do now? Like now you're just kind of got to be face, and at least for a while, So like, I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But I thought it was all booked well, and like I thought that the Kane and Ziggler match was solid work. The match made sense in the scheme of things. The story was told was good with the whole Rusev angle and Lana missing a step and hurting her ankle and the distraction. It all made sense. It was a good way to get Rusev on TV. and have him play an even bigger villain, just laughing when she got hurt. I thought it was all really well booked, and I gave the match itself a B plus because the match was surprisingly better than I expected it to be.
I was around a C plus with the match, and I guess maybe it's because now I'm nitpicking with Ziggler because I know how good he is both offensively and defensively, and I see him just selling too much. But the gimmick ending made sense, so that kind of kept it higher for me. Smart booking. You keep Kane looking strong because I've been thinking for the last couple of weeks. I was like, actually for the last week, I've been thinking, man, what if Kane actually wins Money in the Bank? And it's cool because Kane with a win right now makes him seem credible, and that could actually happen, which we'll get into at the end of Raw because I have a couple of conspiracy theories on this.
Okay.
So, after that was Ryback and Big Show on Miz TV, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I know that you hate Ryback, and I know that the Bray Wyatt match we thought was good, and then he regressed. I know that. But I laughed my ass off during Miz TV because Ryback just sat in that chair and just straight took every single thing and just, I mean, he made it, dude. Like he owned it. Like he owned the shit out of it. He can't. He straight told Miz, "You're lucky you didn't wrestle me because I'd have taken years off your career." Like I laughed my ass off at that. Just I don't know. Like I thought. I know he's still clunky in the ring, and I know that he's still, he seems as green as can be. But I enjoyed Miz TV. And I know Big Show jumped, but Big Show jumped for Cesaro. That shell shock was impressive as shit. Like, that was cool. And I don't care. Like, I'm a feat of strength guy. Watching Cena do an attitude adjustment to Big Show was cool. Watching Ryback do shell shock to Big Show was cool. And you can go ahead and tear Ryback apart now.
Yeah, dude. I gave this whole thing an F. Like it was so terrible to me. I thought every moment.
Your blinders.
I thought every moment of this was awful. Like I thought that the only thing that I thought was funny was when Miz said, "Can I be really honest with you? You're ugly." Like that to me was the funniest segment, the funniest part of the whole thing. And I mean, Miz to me was the only thing that made that thing even worthy of watching it without fast forwarding. It was so bad. Like, I mean, it still got an F to me. And honestly, man, from the jump, it was as soon as his music hit, I heard Michael Cole say, "And there's your Intercontinental Champion." And dude, I swear to God, I cringed. I just hit that music and then have someone say Intercontinental Champion, it hurt me. It hurt my soul to hear that, dude. And to know, God, this is the only time I think ever in my life that I would hope that Big Show becomes the next Intercontinental Champion. Because to me, even as clunky and as old and as played out and as overused and overbooked as Big Show is, I would rather see Big Show as the IC champion. Just because I despise Ryback. And to me, it's all hypnotism, dude. It's all oh, well, he took all the bashing. It's okay, well, the bashing was true. So because he took it well, that makes him better all of a sudden? No, he sucks. He's terrible. He's god-awful. He shouldn't have a job. I will never, ever, ever, ever get on the Ryback train. He can wrestle for another 10 years, and I'll still say that he sucks and he's terrible and he doesn't deserve anything. I will say that forever.
I agree with you about him not deserving it, and I agree with you about that he actually sucks in the ring. I just thought the fucking promo was hilarious. I laughed my ass off.
That's fair.
That's what I'm saying. I liked it because it was funny. I didn't like it because it was good. I mean, the shell shock was cool. And I know you're not going to get on the Ryback train, and I'm not on the Ryback train because you and I agree. We both had that moment where we were like, oh man, good match with Bray. Maybe he's turning it around, and then boom, right back to regression. So,
yeah.
We both were there. We had that little glimmer of well, maybe, and then it quickly snuffed out, So, no, I'm not on the train, but that promo was funny. I'm not even going to grade it because it was put it on the same level as a Santino comedy skit.
Okay,
for the
that's
WWE
fair.
shop.
That's fair.
Okay. That sound good?
Yeah.
You know, okay, cool. Look, that is how we do things here at
But
Mouth
you
of
have
the
to
Mark.
remember, though, this is about the Intercontinental Championship. And it's like we're making it passable, like, oh well, it was a Santino comedy thing. It's like, dude, like Daniel Bryan was just the Intercontinental Champion, and now we have Ryback. Like anybody, I would
But
rather
that's
see
it.
the Miz would be better as the IC champion to me. I mean,
Don't speak that blasphemy.
dude, the Miz would be 10 times the Intercontinental Champion that Ryback is, because at least the guy that can deliver a promo if he's going to botch some spots in the ring.
Well, yeah, all right. But I mean, if we're talking like walking out of Elimination Chamber, I would have rathered even Mark Henry over
Yeah. Oh
Ryback.
yeah. I would have loved
You
to
know,
have some heel Mark Henry, man. Some heel Hall of Pain, just going through all the mid carders, just doing it. Yeah, why not?
was there a promo after that before the new Dudley Boys versus the new Eddie and Chavo?
No, I don't think there was. I think it was just like a little.
Okay.
Oh, it was a package for the Tough Enough finalists.
Oh, where they started showing the 40
Yeah.
people in groups of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever, like, okay, here's my thing. If anyone thought that they weren't gonna go with stereotypical body types and stereotypical looks for Tough Enough, you were out of your fucking mind. Like,
Yeah, I counted 3 dudes out of like I think it was like 30 that were like weird. And it's like, dude, they're gonna be off the first show. Like,
yeah, that's the hope. You know what I mean? But on a Tough Enough note, I read something today that like they're sending out automated emails to the people that got rejected. And basically it's just something that somebody typed up and Triple H did like his little signature or whatever. It's basically saying, we had a whole bunch of, submissions, and we want you to know that, we appreciate you applying, and you should consider applying again next time, in future Tough Enoughs. So I'm thinking they're going to make this kind of like a seasonal thing where like they do it once a year or something
oh,
like
they
that.
will. Yeah, they're gonna do it once a year. They're gonna do it
That's
once
cool.
a year, and they're gonna get a 1 year deal in NXT, and they're gonna start him off like CJ Parker, and then if he ends up working out, cool. They'll give him, and then they'll eventually go up the ladder in NXT and come to the main roster. And then if he doesn't end up working out, then he's only on NXT. He was a jobber for a little while. You scrap him, and hey, next season there could be a new guy. You know what I mean? So it's
Cool thing,
smart.
cool thing about that. Now with as big as NXT is getting, a year on NXT, even as a jobber, you can get bookings on the indies. So you're
Oh
still making
yeah.
a star. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So good for whoever wins Tough Enough. And if they
Yeah.
do it a yearly thing, they're at least injecting something into the market other than into themselves, like Tough Enough has been, where it's just been like, all right, Tough Enough, throw them on Raw. Nope, you failed, get out. And then they have
Yeah.
no credibility. And then, like I think the highest guy, actually Miz is the only guy I can really say came out of Tough Enough that has like legitimate tenure and credibility. Morrison's gone. Maven doesn't even want to acknowledge he was ever a wrestler. Daniel Puter, who remembers Daniel Puter these days, right?
I don't know who that is.
So you don't know who Daniel Puter is?
Nope.
He won Tough Enough. Just so you know, he
No
won
idea who it is.
he won the season with Miz, I think. But
Wow.
yeah, so anyway, so it's just nice to see that if you get a year contract and you get a year with NXT, it doesn't mean that after that year you go back to obscurity. You
Wait,
can
wasn't
probably
Ryback on
still.
Tough Enough?
He didn't win though. Like, I mean, he
Oh.
was on Tough Enough, and
Of
then
course. Of course. So the guy, all right, so you've had winners that I don't know, and a guy that didn't even win is your Intercontinental Champion right now. Smart booking,
yep,
guys. Way to go.
yep, because that son of a bitch came back. He just kept coming back. He was like, "No, you guys gonna hire me."
Ridiculous.
so, so in other news, we had I don't know, Swamp People Dudley Boys versus Puerto Rican Eddie and Chavo.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it right now. Done. Don't care. Rest in peace, Eddie. That's all I got to say.
Rest in peace.
So, so this happened, and it's a squash. It's a squash, plain and simple. Squash for the Wyatts, which I'm kind of aggravated that they weren't in the Elimination Chamber, but whatever. Um, Do you think they're going to bring the Dudleys back?
See, that's why I think, dude, I don't think yes. Yes, I do. To answer your question
Yes.
simply, yes, I
Hmm.
do. I told you guys that it was gonna happen eventually. I
No, no,
told
no.
you, and when it does, I'm gonna find that thread and I'm gonna bump it and just troll everyone.
Wait, why? The whole reason you got trolled is because you were like, LOL, contract signed, and we're like, LOL, prove it, bitch. And you were like, oh, it's right here. Don't you know? And we were like, And then they just start showing up in random places and there's no WWE contract yet. I'm
And
telling
here
you.
we are. It's gonna
And-
happen. Just wait
and
for it. Wait
I
for it.
agree. I
Wait for it.
agree. I agree that in the near future, the Dudleys will have a contract with WWE, and whether it's to work NXT or work the main roster, I don't care because if they work NXT, they're going to be working teams like Enzo and Cass, and if they come to the main roster, they're going to be working guys like the Wyatts. They're going to work Cesaro and Kid, New Day, the Usos when the Usos come back.
That's
You
gonna
know,
be stellar.
I guarantee you, Usos Dudleys is gonna tear down the house. But like, so I don't care. I don't care when they come back or where they go,
I
as
think
long
they're
as they
coming back.
come.
I think they're coming back straight to work Harper and Rowan. Like that promo at the end, like dude, they have had no interaction with the New Day, and they have their own thing going on. They're not promoing for the titles. They're doing the 3D. They get booed every time. It's a huge move that everyone knows. It's not like they're just like stealing, like an old school like Legion of Doom type thing. Like they know. Do we just like they know it's happening, and I think that promo is just building for the Dudleys.
I
I really think that it's going to be Dudley straight to main roster, work Harper and Rowan, and then start working some other guys, and then maybe go down to NXT. Maybe. But I think they're coming back to the main roster because they can make money off of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're smart, you bring those guys to the main roster because I mean, you're talking about guys that have been prominent on TNA television for the last few years. I mean, that's like if you bring Kurt Angle back. You don't bring Kurt Angle to NXT, you bring him to main roster.
Yeah.
So, you know, uh, the thing for me is though, like, I want the Dudleys to be booked smart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want them to come back and have the Jericho treatment where Jericho's like, I'm gonna just let these kids go over all the time. No, like if the Dudleys come back, I want them to come back and actually seem like a legitimate, you know, working pair. Uh, so like, maybe they come back and they get over on the Wyatts, but then the Wyatts get over in the end, and then you know, I guess with the Usos, it's just kind of like throw it up in the air and just whoever you feel the crowd and whoever's hotter wins. You know what I mean?
See, I think you bring him in to put over the Wyatts, but they're the Dudleys. So like if they lose their first program in, it's like okay, well whatever. And if they go straight to a title run or at least straight to like whoever the number one contenders are, I mean you can definitely feel that they're building the tag team division again, and that's awesome because I love tag team wrestling. That's my favorite like thing, honestly. Like maybe it's because when I worked, it was mostly tag team matches, and I just get it better. I don't know. I enjoy it a lot. A lot of my favorite matches ever were tag team matches. I don't know. I'm really excited to see where they're going with it. I'm stoked as hell to finally see the Dudleys back in the WWE ring, and I think against like a 3D versus the Way or whatever they're calling their new finish, like which is essentially the 3D. I think that would be cool. I think it would actually be kind of cool to like have like a botch at one point and have like
Have one of the Dudleys hit it with one of the Wyatts.
yeah, have like Luke hit Rowan with it on accident, like a reversal into Devon, and then Luke hits it or something. Like I think that would be a cool, I can already see it happening, like
Yeah,
so.
no, I agree. But I mean, I think at some point they're going to start getting tables out, and that's when you're going to know that shit's getting real.
Yeah,
When the Wyatts start pulling out tables and doing it through tables, then they're coming.
yep,
Like that's
yep,
that's going to be the telltale for me. When they pull a table out, I'm going to be like, here we go. Shit's getting real now. It's time.
yep.
Because that could be the perfect setup, dude. Like they could just keep doing it for a couple weeks, like just set it up. Even like wait till SummerSlam. Just wait till SummerSlam, and
Yeah,
then they're working some. Let them here. Okay, setting this up and get ready to mark out in your mind. Okay, SummerSlam. Wyatts are not booked. But Cesaro and Kid versus New Day. Okay? Tag title match. Wyatt's interfere, gimmick ending. Everybody's pissed. Okay. New Day scurries out of the way. Wyatt's cornering Cesaro and Kid, setting Kid up. They narrow with the way of the ring. The table out, set a table in the middle of the ring. They go to pick up Kid, bombshell. Dudley's hit, SummerSlam out the Wyatts, and there you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Markout moment for SummerSlam.
I like it.
So that's it right there. Fantasy booking. You can send me my check, Vince. Have a nice day.
There you go.
Not only do I rip off some Dudleys, but I'm going to rip off Mick Foley too.
Hey, why not?
So what was, did they go straight into Big E and Titus, or did they have a promo? Because I'm trying to remember the
promo. There was the Kane Rollins promo. You know, Kane saying he was going to be in JJ's corner.
Yeah.
And it was good. I mean, dude, Kane's mic work is just week by week gets better. He might have one off week or something like that, but I honestly feel like this is the best mic work he's ever done in his career, ever.
It's also the most mic work he's done in his career.
Yeah, for sure. And he's delivering it really well. And he looks good in the ring, man. Like, I never thought, I mean, you know, if you would have said that, you know, a year ago, I would be saying this, but I'm ready to see Kane wrestling again. You know what I mean? Not just like here and there in this match, whatever. I honestly think he's got a pretty good chance to win Money in the Bank, looking at the you know, the rundown of who's in there. And then I got another sleeper, but I don't know. I think that I thought that whole promo was good. You know, just hyped me up more for, you know, J&J being babyface and then eventual authority turn. It's just weird, man. There's something weird going on there. But what did you think of that promo?
The promo was solid. You know, it's all solid promo work setting up for Rollins against J&J, making a perceived squash handicap match into a, oh shit, they might actually win. You know, so that part is booking, and they're always good. And let me, you know, don't knock them. WWE has always been good at keeping the main storyline the focus. I'm just glad that they didn't have it with like 20-minute promo at the beginning, 10-minute promo in the middle, then 20-minute match at the end. They didn't have to do that this time. So maybe this proves to them that, hey, it can work doing something different than the obvious way. You know, So I'm hoping that maybe they swap from their standard formula, but knowing the E, they won't. I'm with you on Kane. When, you know, after that Edge feud with Paul Bearer, I lost all hope in Kane. You know, from that point on, I really did, dude. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody that you grew up watching just destroy and dismantle people as a silent monster, just screaming like an insolent child, "Give me my father back." You know, like, you know, there's nothing more degrading than that. And it just kills the character in your mind. So like, I lost all interest in Kane at that point. And when he came back with, you know, to face Cena before WrestleMania against The Rock, I was like, ooh, Kane's back. This is cool. Then I kind of lost interest again. And then I kind of got it back again. Now I'm really invested in him again. And I never thought I would say that because he doesn't have the mask right now. Like, I didn't think I'd be invested in Kane without the mask. But I kind of am.
Yeah.
You know? And I think what it is that they've booked it well with the teased face turn and the tension with Rollins and all this stuff. So it's just booked well. They booked Kane really well to be invested in him as a veteran, which is nice. He's not a main focal point. He's not taking star power away from anybody. He's not taking any shine off of the boys, but he's generating his own shine essentially. And that's something that we haven't seen from Kane in a while, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm bought in. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
So Big E versus Titus could have been a lot better, could have been a lot worse. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, was this a dark match? Just kidding. I kid. It was but yeah, I mean, it was.
Come on, man.
But dude, I actually thought the match was pretty good. I like that they were you know extending the angle there, and it made sense, you know, to kind of have you know, that Kofi the Kofi Reigns match bleed into it. That way you don't have to redo the intro or whatever. And you know, I like New Day. I like everything they're doing. I think the primetime players are better than they've ever been before. Titus didn't clunk up this one too bad. It was kind of short and sweet, and the heels go over, and it makes sense. I thought it was good, especially knowing after that, especially having Roman Reigns' music just hit right off the bat. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then it makes a lot more sense for them to get a little bit of shine here as a New Day, because we all know that Roman Reigns is going over in this match here, so that made sense to me. I gave the Big E Titus match a C+. It would have been better. It would have been probably a better grade had they had more time, but I gave it a C+ because it was a pretty good, short and sweet match,
Yep, agreed. C+, B- at best. I would probably more on the C+ side than the B.
Yeah.
Time being the big factor there. Titus was working well. If anything, the announcers really cheated Titus because you hear Titus start his comeback, and like clear as day, you hear him yell, "Come on, New Orleans!" And JBL, like a dumb fuck, just goes, "Did anybody hear what the hell Titus just said? I couldn't understand him." I'm like, "Come on, dude! Don't bury the guy. Like he's just trying to fire up."
Yeah. No, I agree.
So C+ for that, and then going into Reigns and Kofi, another match there where I was surprised at how much offense Kofi got in. I thought for sure it was going to be like a Roman squash fest, but I'm really glad that it wasn't. You're letting your tag team champion, one of your tag team champions, really solidify themselves, even as a singles competitor, standing up with one of, let's face it, the tougher guys that the roster's got right now.
Yeah.
And I thought Kofi might have actually pulled a cheat win with New Day at ringside for a minute. But that Superman punch combo at the end was pretty cool. I nitpicked it a little. I was like, man, it would have been really cool if Kofi would have just flat dropped and not done like the knee stumble thing.
Yeah.
But because think about it, like how Miz sold the knockout punch where Miz just kind of like straight stiff and fell. It would have been cool if Kofi would have like stiffened, like kind of chest bumped it a little bit.
Yeah, or even done like a Sami Zayn and like crinkled at the knees,
Yeah, something like that. Kofi's little flail there kind of threw me off. But again, that's nitpicking.
Yeah.
Because Kofi's a top 5% seller, man. I mean, he's not a Ziggler and he's not a Neville, but I mean, he's still up there as one of the better sellers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And his offense is very good. Again, Kofi's winning me over as a heel, man. Like,
it was weird to see though. It was weird to see it. There was a few points where he just like, I mean, he was working it well. I agree, and I'm starting to buy him more as a heel. But it's just like, man, like I've just seen him as a face for so long. That's like,
it's the high spots.
Internal, like, it's like, man, it's weird that he's like beating on a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I've never in my life seen Kofi Kingston just beat on a guy. Like.
But that's what's good about it, because like look at Ray. Ray, you sit there and you're like, man, does he have that in his arsenal? Can Ray just beat on a guy and just make it work? Kofi's making it work, So
yeah, for sure.
And having Xavier Woods at ringside just being like preacher man commentary for New Day corner, is nothing but gold for him. So I mean,
yeah.
So it's there, so I still find myself wanting to cheer for him on the high spots because, I mean, who doesn't love a spot monkey? But, he's working it as a heel and it's working well.
Yeah.
New Day is going to be very successful, I see, in the coming years, however long they stay together.
I agree.
I don't think you split these guys up. I think you keep them together as long as possible because
I agree.
Unless somehow this group has brought out some charisma in Big E, he's not going to make it anywhere. If this has kind of opened him up to be this charismatic character, then okay, cool. He could be that guy that John Cena thinks he could be in terms of like a main event character. But if this group really doesn't propel him into that charismatic role, he's going to flop just like everybody else. WWE already fucked up Kofi whenever they didn't pull the trigger on him versus Orton. Xavier never really had a shot because of his Power Ranger gimmick, which I loved, but I'm a nerd, so of course I did.
Yeah.
So I hope that this group stays together because these three are just so successful and they meld so well.
I agree.
And not even because they're all black or anything like that, but because they play off of each other really well as as actors, workers, whatever you want to call them, they play off of each other's energy very well, and it
Yeah.
works. So
Yeah.
I hope they
They've got
stay
good
together, and I
chemistry.
hope they stay
Yeah.
successful. Yeah, yeah, their chemistry is excellent. So I hope they stay together, and I hope they have a really good run with tag titles. Maybe have one of them pick up one of the mid card titles to where they hold all the gold like the Shield did. I
Might
could
be
see
might
that.
be bigger than that, man.
Yeah, I had Kofi as a dark horse for Money in the Bank, which we'll talk
Me
about
too,
later.
dude. Me
We'll
too.
we'll talk about we'll talk about why later. I think everybody knows already why, but we'll talk about it. So after Roman, they cut to actually Roman didn't even leave. Roman just straight sat at ringside, and Ambrose showed up. Which, by the way, all the Instagram pictures of Ambrose and Bourbon Street
Good
could
stuff. Yeah,
could totally see it all happening.
it was
Nothing out
good.
of the ordinary for New
I
Orleans.
like
Just so
that.
everybody knows.
I like the less crazy and more like sloppy Dean Ambrose. You know what I mean? He's just more like kind of loosey goosey, almost Dusty Rhodes ish. You know what I mean? Like there's just something
Just
like
having fun. Just
yeah,
having
like
fun.
there's something just a little funky about him now that I like, and it's not so like and snarl and the most ridiculous faces you've ever seen in your life. Like I don't know. I like it. I thought it was good. What'd you think about the match though? Rollins J&J.
I mean, nostalgia hit me in the feels for this one, bro. I gave it a B plus. Like J&J
I gave
going
it
over.
an A, dude. I gave it an
Did you?
A.
I gave it a B plus just because I couldn't find it in my heart to give it an A with Rollins losing to J&J Security as world champion. That's just for me. I think going into this, Rollins really needed to be booked strong to show he has a chance against Dean. But
He's
the
gonna win
J
though.
Oh, of course he's going to win. But I have a theory for that too, so don't worry. Uh, so J&J winning is cool. Kind of shows where Seth is dependent on the authority, that kind of thing. But I thought it was perfect how he was going to win. Ambrose slid the title in, and it shows that Rollins cares more about the title, where he went
Yeah,
for the title and then took the loss. Um, and then Ambrose sneaking in after and hitting dirty deeds and still walking out with the title, which you knew that was going to happen.
yeah.
But Ambrose is holding on to that title till Money in the Bank, and maybe after. But I have theories for that. Um, so overall, you know, looking at each match as a body of work, I can honestly say that after talking about like all of this and possibly moving segment wise, I can give Raw a B.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So maybe it was just my disdain for Sheamus and Orton,
I
and
think honestly, dude, I think you were like, well, I didn't get tickets for this Raw, and it's in my hometown, so it better suck.
you know what? That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So
So what
now,
about all right, man? So let's get into this, man. What about predictions for Money in the Bank and any kind of like fantasy storyline that you got? I know you got like 3 or 4 of them you've been talking about. So here you
okay,
go.
okay. So let's take the ladder match just right off the bat. Okay,
Okay.
let's just get that out of the way. So you can go 3 ways with this match: Roman Reigns, Kane, Kofi Kingston. Those are the 3. I
Agreed.
know people. I know people are saying that like, oh, Neville's a dark horse. Ziggler, no, no. Neville's not going to go anywhere. Neville's to help Kofi with the high spots.
Yep.
Ziggler's going to work Rusev, so Rusev is going to screw Ziggler.
Yep.
Orton and Sheamus are going to probably cancel each other out because
Yep.
they always cancel each other out. Now, let's say Kane wins. Okay,
I like it.
Kane wins. Kane has the bank. Seth wins. Possible 2 options here: Kane face turn, Authority face turn, and Seth just becomes the heel that the Authority discarded. That's one way you can go. Or let's say Reigns wins. Reigns versus Authority. Okay, no big deal. Whatever. Here's the one that I like. And this is the one that I think might actually be happening. Kofi Kingston wins. Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston in Japan for the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yep. Yep.
Period.
Yep.
You can book that now because it makes sense. Why book Brock in Japan against Kofi? Unless you're going to give Kofi Kingston the Mr. Kennedy treatment. I can't see any other reason why. It makes
Yeah.
sense. We could all be getting swerved. We could. It's possible.
Yeah.
Kofi and Brock may work like the strongest style Japan match we've ever seen in our lives, but I mean, I don't think so. I really think that Kofi is gonna win Money in the Bank, and I think that Brock is gonna take it off of him and then cash in on Seth.
I think that you're right, but I think that they might actually go even one step further with it.
And let Kofi win and New Day hold the gold?
No, I think that yes, briefly. Like I think that they might actually have Kofi go over Money in the Bank, and then since the main event's a ladder match, you wait until they're both knocked down so neither guy loses steam. Kofi cashes in the ladder match, just climbs up, pulls it down, and all of a sudden he's the champion. And then on the 4th of July show, you just
Loses
say,
it to Brock.
yeah, drop it right away to Brock. That way Brock has it for SummerSlam. He already has it. It's easier that way. You got this huge 4th of July thing that you're going to push anyway. It would make more sense. You could because you got to put on Lesnar last. And you can't really put on Lesnar last with Kofi Kingston unless maybe there's a title involved. And he's not going to fight for the Money in the Bank briefcase because he's Brock Lesnar. What's going to stop him from just going out on Monday night, cashing in the briefcase and winning on Monday night? You don't want that. You might as well get the payoff on your 4th of July show. So, and then in that way, too, New Day keeps rolling because then they're pissed off. Man, we had all the gold. We had the world championship, and it only helps them. It doesn't hurt anyone for this to happen because Ambrose and Rollins are going to keep rolling on their thing. But then my question about that is where do you go with Roman Reigns?
And that's the big thing there. Do you do Roman Reigns versus Sheamus like was originally planned after Mania? Because that could be something that you could do. I don't know. Because originally the plan was, Bryan versus Sheamus or whatever, and then Sheamus goes over, built as a big heel, and faces Roman Reigns, and then the Seth Rollins thing got brought in there, so that got scrapped. So maybe that's what you do with Roman, but my thing is like, okay, I know it's a big thing. There's been no black WWE champion. There have been world heavyweight champions, so black guys have held big gold, and I know this is going to be a big deal. Do you have Kofi Kingston be your first?
I don't think anybody would consider him the first. You had Mark Henry, you had
dude.
Bobby Lashley.
Dude. Like, you're talking world heavyweight champion. Look, go.
Yeah, but
go
this
look.
title this way has only been this way for like 2 years maybe at most.
But it's still the WWE Championship. It was always the World Heavyweight Championship, which was big gold from WCW. Trust me, I've read enough angry-ass marks talking about it. They are, and of course, WWE doesn't care about the marks, but, let's just say for a second they do. Do you have Kofi Kingston be the first black guy to hold the straight-up WWE title?
He would certainly deserve it.
I agree. But, like, for me, like, I thought for sure they were going to do it with Mark Henry a couple years ago when Mark did his retirement swerve. I thought it was going to be him that did it. I thought Bobby Lashley was going to get it for sure. And there have been a couple of guys. There's always the argument of, well, The Rock's half black. Well, The Rock's Samoan. All that argument is all speculation and all this crap that people love to do. I think it would be a cool story for New Day to have all the gold up until 4th of July. And then Brock take it. And I think that would be cool. You could even let, like, I don't know, do some cool finish so like Kofi and them look like $1 million. Have a New Day cheat win. The ref sees it after Kofi gets the pin, restart the match, Brock wins. Let him keep some steam. You know what I mean? Like let him keep some steam when Brock beats Kofi. Like that.
Oh no, that won't happen. Oh no, that won't happen. When he gets the title, he will get squashed. He will get squashed. Yeah, and that's okay. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like if there's ever a way to give Kofi Kingston a world heavyweight title, just because to show him the gratitude that he's done for all these years and yada yada yada, and
this is it.
And it's like, why not just give it to him for what, a week and a half, 2 weeks? I think it's actually like 2.5 weeks, but like 2.5 weeks. Come on, New Day on TV for 2.5 weeks. talking shit, that's going to be great. Why would you not do that?
Now, Money in the Bank aside, let's get to the title because the title is the big picture here.
Okay.
What would you say if I suggested that Dean Ambrose wins?
No chance.
What would you say if I say Dean Ambrose could win and they pull a double turn?
I don't think people are ready to accept Seth Rollins as a face. I don't think it would work. And I think they know it would work. And the only way it would work is if, well, it might
Ambrose
work,
joining the
but
Authority.
you would have to do a lot. You would have to give them like half an hour, at least.
But they've never gotten less than a half an hour. Hell in a Cell or any of the other places. They've been 25-minute plus. They always get time. Those two have always had time when they work together because WWE knew that there was a money feud.
I don't think
And
that's
this
going to
is a
happen,
money
man.
feud. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just saying it'd be freaking cool. Like maybe I mean the logistics of it is kind of annoying because you've only got 2 weeks. You only had 2 weeks of build, so there really wasn't enough like descent,
Yeah.
really just into it. So it's hard with 2 weeks of build, but like I say, if you'd have given this a month, have the trap laid for the Authority where Seth is just going to be thrown out to the wolves, and then Ambrose just kind of moseys on in, and the Authority abandons Rollins, and Ambrose has the heel turn because I've seen Ambrose's old work, and I'll tell you what, Dean Ambrose is a pretty cool heel. And I'm not talking Shield. I'm talking like John Moxley and
Well, what
Ambrose
about
in
the Authority, though?
FCW.
Like, how are you feeling? You don't think they're going to go face?
I think it's very easy for them to go face, but I don't see them going face and like aligning with Ambrose and Reigns.
I
Like
don't either. You're right.
maybe more of a tweener where they're just like, we are a neutral Authority figure, which will never happen in WWE. But I
It
mean,
should, though. It should, though. I mean, they've been doing this whole thing since Vince McMahon where it's like,
yeah,
everybody hates the E, and it's like you got to have the Rebel that's the main event guy. And it's like, dude, like the Rebel or the corporate champion. That's the only two people that have been on top for like 20 years now. And it's like, come on, man. Like,
yep.
do something else. Like, do something else. Like, why don't you just have like an actual, like to me, that's honestly, that has a lot to do with why NXT is a lot better to me, because William Regal will throw a heel a bone. But at the same time, it's like, to me, you've run it into the ground. Like, I'm tired of an authoritative heel figure constantly. Like,
Yep.
and if you're gonna do it, at least bring Vince back on TV on Raws, like once every 2 weeks to be the counter. Like, now he's got half the company back or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least have if you're gonna have at least have both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think this is the time where Vince is phased out. Like, not backstage, but Vince is phasing himself out off TV. Everything he tried to do in 04, 04, 06, 08, like everything he tried then is now. Like there's nothing big happening right now where he's got to come back to TV full time. I mean, Vince killed his character, and then Benoit died, and then he was on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So like that killed that. Like he was gonna phase out then, and shit, Trips was champion at that point. So it's. I think this was the turning point, man. Like the Authority was the turning point where Vince has said, "All right, I'm phasing off of the screen. I'll still be in the back, and we're gonna run with it like this. This is how it's gonna be for the future. We're gonna prepare for the future."
I still think he'll do a handful of Raws every year, man.
Oh,
Until
he'll
it
show
kicks the
up.
bucket.
Yeah, he'll show up whenever. Like, I hope the Authority isn't around as a heel come Survivor Series, but there's gonna be some bullshit gimmick match again for Survivor Series this year. The Authority will be gone, and John Cena will bring them back 2 months later, and Edge might die. And oh wait, sorry, this is last year.
Yeah,
I'm getting ahead of myself. So it's just there's always going to be something, man. I just having the Authority as a neutral figure would be something ironically different. and I'm really wanting different right now.
Yeah.
You know, they should have never brought the Authority back. I like that Seth got champion out of it, but they should have
Yeah.
never brought the Authority back.
Since we didn't get
Um,
a chance to touch on it, you think Stone Cold's gonna work Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32?
nope, nope, sure don't. I think Brock's going to work The Rock at WrestleMania 32.
Nope. Rock's already working Triple H.
You think that's going to happen? I
That's
actually
that's already gonna happen. That's already booked.
but here's my thing. So you're going to
Rousey's
have
gonna be in the Rock's corner. That way she doesn't have to work, and then Stephanie's gonna be in Triple H's corner.
okay, but you know that they're going to do work. Like
Yeah,
Ronda's
yeah,
going to get
yeah, yeah.
involved and stuff.
They'll have a slap outside, and Stephanie will take a bump, and that'll cost
So
Rock to win or something.
so you've got Rock and Trips, and you've got Brock and Austin. That's four guys probably going to be your main and co-main. Or you know what I mean? Like those are high up. Those two don't go. Those like any of those four don't go on second to last. You know what I mean? Like those are all go on last guys. So what do you and what do you have for main event then? Because like I
Brock
don't know, man.
Lesnar Owens.
But you just said that Brock was gonna work Austin.
Oh no, yeah. I mean Brock and Austin. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I said Owens. Owens was
So you think that's gonna go on last?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so then your world title goes on third to last.
What do you mean?
So here's what I'm saying.
Brock Lesnar will have the title at Mania, and it will be for the title, and Brock will beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what will happen.
I don't think so, man. I don't.
Dude,
First off, I don't.
all right, here's my reasoning, dude. They're in Dallas. They want to break the Silver Dome record, and he's gonna pay whatever they want to make, and they don't care, dude. The Rock has come on and been the mid card at WrestleMania when he's come back from movies 3 times. He will work in the middle, and so will Triple H. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and then
Three?
yes, he came back for the Rock and Sock thing. He came back
Against
for
Evolution.
against Evolution, and it came back the last Stone Cold match. He was part-time. Remember, because he came back and he was a heel and he wore the leather vest. That's 3 times he's done it already, and they worked the mid card.
Well, that's two. Rock and Sock against Evolution, Austin, and I forgot that they weren't on last. So that's two. Where's your third?
Okay, well he's done it twice already. He'll do it the third time. Either
Take
way,
that.
either way, my point still stands. I feel like, and dude, I think that they're all right. They want to break the Silver Dome record. They want to sell out Wally World in Dallas, man. They want to sell it out, dude. And they've already talked about Shawn Michaels working Daniel Bryan is actually a possibility that is on the table, because now to Shawn Michaels it would make more sense having Daniel Bryan come out because the story means more. It would people would pop for it. Nobody would hate HBK for doing it. So you would have that. You'd have Triple H Rock. You'd have Brock and Austin, and then you would have your normal WrestleMania, and it's a 3-hour show. I mean, you still got 2 hours of normal Mania and then an hour of main events. You know what I mean? Each match gets at least 20. And you're probably going to have Sting and Undertaker this year, too.
I was gonna say, then you have Undertaker too. So I mean, here's my thing though. Like, and I guess my gripe is I guess kind of what all the marks are. Like, all these part-time guys are taking up like half the Mania card. And I mean, I know you have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal still. That's gonna just take up an assload of guys. Then you've got Cena. Then you've got the Intercontinental title, then the tag titles. Then you're talking almost like a 9 to 10 match card, and Mania probably will be longer than 3 hours. It'll probably be a 4-hour Mania this year.
I'm fine with that.
So I guess my thing is like you've got to it becomes a problem for me like if you have so much star power, where it's like okay, who gets the main event pay? And then who like what falls down?
I think Vince is willing to pay them all main event pay.
It's just I don't know.
You're selling out Wally World, dude. You're selling out that many seats, dude.
I know.
That many seats, you can afford to pay them that.
But here's my biggest gripe. My biggest gripe is Are they all going to do it? Because Sean's already said no, and that was a couple months ago. Of course, obviously Daniel getting hurt again might change things. So Sean's already said no.
Okay, so that doesn't happen.
Right. Sean's already said no, which we already talked about, and I kind of agree with him. Make it a better story. Daniel Bryan versus Sean should have been done when Daniel was on his chase, if it was going to happen. If when Daniel was in the world title chase, if it was going to happen, it should have happened then. Uh, you know, Rock's going to do it. I know Rock is going to be there because Ronda's going to be there because Ronda's already said she's going to be there, whether Dana likes it or not. Unless Dana schedules a fight for April. If Dana schedules a fight for April, Ronda will not be at Mania.
Either way,
Guaranteed.
Either way, they're gonna have Rock and Triple H though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like Ronda won't be there if Dana books a fight for that month
That's not
because
necessarily true. All right, even if they book, say let's say Dana is spiteful like that, then what they'll do is they'll just put Ronda in the front row again, and she'll have a slapper from the front row. What's he gonna say then? She bought a ticket,
yeah,
she sat there, she gave her a slap.
right. It's just not going to be like front camera like it was
No,
this past
no,
year.
no. I agree.
So there's that, and then I guess the big question is I mean, is Austin going to come back?
He wants it, dude, and like, all right, you can clearly see that he wants to do it. That promo was phenomenal, dude. Like it took me back. I was like, I have not seen a serious Stone Cold because even when he was on TV doing the sheriff thing, he was like funny Stone Cold or gimmick Stone Cold. He was Stone Cold Steve Austin, 1998, baddest, toughest man, whatever. Like he was that guy. Like it was perfect. And why would he have done that if he didn't want to do it? And you're going to tell me that Brock Lesnar is going to say no to a payday with Stone Cold Steve Austin at main event? And you think Vince McMahon's going to be like, well, I don't know if it's the right time for you guys. Like, no, dude, if they have a chance to do Steve Austin against Brock Lesnar in Dallas, they are going to do it. It blows my mind that everyone's so skeptical about this. Like, why would
it's not? Here's my thing. I'm not skeptical about the payoff of it because I know what the payoff will be. What I'm skeptical about is if Austin can do it. Not if he wants to do it, it's if he can do it. I don't want to see Austin sitting in the ring like Taker was against Brock.
Oh, no, they're going to do it but they're going to do it hardcore. It's going to be a Texas death match. That's what they're going to do. They're going to have gimmicks in there. They might even let him blade. It's his last match. It's the main event. They've been kind of teasing it, and if they don't do any color between now and Mania, it would make sense. It'd be huge. It would get super over in Dallas. You got it on the network anyway.
Whether the E wants them to or not, they're gonna color. Look at Lesnar versus Reigns. Lesnar colored.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't care what anybody says. That dude had hardware.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I've seen the video. I've seen the handoff. I've seen his hand whenever he hit the turnbuckle. Trust me, Lesnar had hardware for 31, and he got fined for it too, if I remember correctly.
And that's fine. They'll take the fine, dude. Stone Cold's going to ride off into the sunset. I guarantee you, he doesn't leave there with a little line like Brock Lesnar. He has got the Bloodstone WrestleMania 13 Sharpshooter Crimson Mask. It's going to happen, dude. I'm telling you, this main event will happen. It's going to be the main event, and we're going to be there, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, if it happens, like, we better buy our tickets before it's announced. Because prices are going to go through the roof after.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited. It's still, we're not even halfway into the year, man, and we're already getting stoked for Mania.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's pretty gnarly. So overall, this was a surprising Raw for me, and I didn't think that I would be excited for Money in the Bank with only 2 weeks worth of build, but I'm fairly pumped for Money in the Bank. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too, man.
So do we want to do an actual predictions show, or do we want to just post predictions and then do a reaction show? How do you think we should do that?
I'm down to do a short show early on Sunday. We'll just do it maybe we'll do it maybe an hour before the pre-show and do like a 20-minute show and give some predictions. I'd like to see NXT to because I feel like they might actually do some NXT stuff on on the pay-per-view too. And I will actually probably, I mean, we'll probably won't watch SmackDown, but I will at least like to know what's happening before we do a prediction show. But yeah, I'd say like maybe we'll do Sunday afternoon predictions, and we'll definitely do. We got Brent from the Hollywood Kills. They're a rock band here in Nashville. They're pretty badass. Cheap plug. Go check out the Hollywood Kills.
Yeah.
He's gonna come on. The singer for that band. He's gonna come on, and he's a lifetime mark, man. Me and that guy have been talking about wrestling for like a decade now. So I'm really excited to have him on. But yeah, dude, we're stoked. I think we're both stoked for Money in the Bank. It's gonna be a good time.
Excellent. I get to be a third wheel on my own show.
Oh.
So that's going to do it for us tonight, folks. Y'all have a good week, and we'll be back for Money in the Bank. Or as Curtis Axel likes to say, money in the Baxel.
Yes, sir.